Hello, and welcome to episode one of our very new podcast, Cook It and Book It, presented by BallisLife. My name is Sarah Jane Gamelli, and this is my co host, Looch. We are here to give you some entertainment, some insight, pretty much your go to destination for insightful discussion, some expert analysis in the dynamic world of sports betting and sports news. Looch, how are you today?
I'm fantastic. Episode one, exciting. Excited to share to the
Exciting.
world with what we got, what we can bring to the table.
Very exciting. What you got going on this morning? I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really a morning person, so
Ooh,
I'm dedicated to the grind.
I'm the opposite. I am up early, 6 a.m. starting the day. I used to be the opposite. Funny story. I used to be a night owl up till 2, 3 in the morning, doing my thing. Now it's the opposite. I'm ready. I've been up, ready to go. Now it's mornings. Now it's morning time for me.
Yeah, it,
Big
it will
morning
get
guy.
easier. Let me tell you. I want to let you know my cat may make an appearance.
My dog might too. So we might have a pet segment or something because my dog always in the middle of everything decides, okay, it's time to bark. And the rest of the day doesn't make a noise. That's
Well,
usually
did
how it
you eat
works.
your Wheaties this
I
morning?
did.
Because we have a
I'm
long
Wheaties
slate
up.
to talk about. Okay, perfect. So everybody gets to know us. As I said, my name is Sarah Jane Gamelli. This is Looch. Looch, tell us a little bit about yourself. What kind of sports are you into? How did you get into this, or what is your sort of betting style?
Yeah.
And just tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. So to everybody out there for meeting for the first time, my name is Looch, from Canada. I've been sports betting for, I'd say, give or take 5 years now, 4 or 5 years. I kind of took on this hobby, like, actually, no, I would say about 4 years, like before COVID, a year before COVID, I kind of took on sports betting. I'm a big sports nut, hockey, NBA, NFL, you name it, lacrosse, golf, everything. I watch everything. I just never deep dove into it like on the sports betting side of things. I'm just really a viewer. Um, and one day, just a friend of mine kind of introduced me to the sports betting world. Hockey is primarily my favorite sport to bet on and watch. So every
Love
night
that.
I've got 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock games on all the time on my phone, the TV. I'm constantly watching hockey. So that is my segment that I focus on. Like 90% of my, or I'd say about 80% of my bets are focused towards hockey. Big analytics nerd. I, the non fun stuff. I went to school for finance, so I do all the boring stuff behind the scenes. But I'm not going to bore you with that nonsense. I'll just give you my analysis. Yeah, I'm more of a straight bet kind of guy.
Yeah.
I used to be in the parlay world in hockey, especially, lose by one leg kind of thing.
Oh,
Everyone's,
the good old parlays.
yeah, the five leggers that you go 4 for 5 every night for a week and you're just crying every night before you go to bed because at midnight you
Crying,
find out
literally crying.
yeah, literally you find out at midnight you didn't hit and then you're like, how am I going to sleep? I could have had $1,000, but now I'm stuck with
Facts.
negative.
Well, Luch, that's where the extra moisturizer comes in. I've really learned to moisturize my skin because, those parlays, they can really
They,
get you.
they, I got it. You know what? I probably needed the moisturizer during that time because I was just spent
Facts.
long nights after a long day. You're like, oh, I spent 2 hours researching all for
All for that.
one guy to just forget how to play hockey that night and just laugh at me the next morning. But yeah, so primarily hockey. I mean, I love NFL, I love the NBA, but betting purposes, primarily hockey. And yeah, my bet style, like I said, a lot of straight bets. You're gonna get it straightforward for me. Keep it in the plus money range to minus 130 at best, yeah, just kind of go through the slates, analyze them daily for a couple hours, and I will give you guys my best picks.
I
That's what you're
love
gonna
that. I
expect
love
from
that.
me.
By the way, I do love golf.
Yeah,
So when the four majors come around, we will be discussing that.
yeah, I didn't know that. See, we find out new
Yes.
things every day. I'm a big golf nut, so I
Yeah.
love to play. I love to watch. So
Do you have
yeah.
a favorite golf guy or?
Well, growing up, it was the typical, Tiger Woods kind of thing, but like
Yeah.
that's standard.
Yeah.
But I actually really like Dustin Johnson, to be honest.
Yeah. DJ?
Yeah,
Pretty
he's
good.
he's he's been my favorite recently. So, how about you? Do you have a favorite?
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, yeah, Tiger Woods. I'm a big lefty Phil guy.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
make fun of me.
Yeah, no, I
But I'm
like
a
him. I
big
like
Jordan
him.
Spieth fan.
Oh, sweet.
I love Spieth.
Yeah.
Always have.
I forgot about Rory
And
McIlroy, actually. He's my favorite. I
yeah,
changed my mind. I forgot
I feel
about
like
him.
I'm always rooting for all those guys. But I do love betting and golf. I also play golf. So
Yeah, me too. I haven't gotten into the world of betting golf. I more like watch it
yep.
as a viewer, but I think we got to do it now. Now that we're doing the
Oh,
show, I think
great.
we got to dive deep now. I think it's time.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. And now let's, you know what? Enough about me. What about you? Tell me a little
Well,
bit, sports betting styles. What do you got for us?
sure, sure. So I am in the lovely state of Connecticut. A lot of
Ooh,
people say I don't know where that is. I
I
always
still don't
say,
know where
Luke,
that is.
I think of it this way. It's a highway between New York and Boston. Just think about
Okay,
that.
fair
Just
enough.
New York, Boston, Connecticut.
Okay,
So
okay.
I really got into sports betting a couple of years ago, and I got trapped because I can only do DraftKings and FanDuel here.
Yeah.
You know when they used to have the pre-slated, like Tommy Cutlets for the New York Giants,
Yeah, yeah,
those
yeah, yeah, yeah.
pre-fit parlays?
Yes.
I hit those the first like 3 times,
You're
and
like,
one of
this
them
is
was with
easy.
like it was easy. And then I was like, all right. And then I was like, wow, I don't know what I'm doing. And then, extending. But pretty much I've evolved. I use a combination of expert, my knowledge of the sport, but
Yeah.
also like you taking a lot of analytics.
Mhm.
So as far as betting style, I'm more of a player prop. I've really gotten into that. I love straight bets. I will take some free bets, the no sweat, and I'll occasionally do a parlay. But I've really found over the last maybe 6 months or so that straight betting and straight picks has been a lot more profitable
Yeah.
than just doing parlay after parlay after
Yeah,
parlay.
absolutely.
Yeah. So like you, I love the NFL. I love football. I love the NBA. My niche really is NFL, WNBA, and NBA. But I will dabble in a little bit of hockey, a little bit of golf. So we got a good slate for you guys. And
Yep.
in the future, Looch, I think we'll be having some guests on,
Yeah,
some great
absolutely.
educational segments.
Yeah.
We're gonna be learning as we go along.
Mm.
So next up, so our first topic, I really want to dive deep into the NFL divisional round and our bets.
Yeah.
Crazy week.
Oh wow. I know.
We're down to the final 4 teams, but first off, we had Houston and Baltimore.
Yeah.
Would love to know if you had any bets on this game.
Yeah. I didn't get too deep into the player props this weekend. I was more of a viewer. I did have Texans plus 9.5. Not looking fantastic. Not looking pretty, but I really believed in CJ Stroud. I know Lamar Jackson is probably going to win MVP. I know the Ravens are a powerhouse, but what I saw from CJ Stroud versus the Browns, which have a phenomenal defense, he just from the second the game started till the end, he was flawless. And seeing that against, I know the Ravens have a great defense, but seeing that and the coach, D'Amico Ryans, done a fantastic job in Houston.
Oh yeah, love him. Love that guy.
Incredible. I knew it was a great hire. I didn't think they were going to be this good this fast. It was.
Oh, me neither.
Like,
I mean, even at halftime, it was 10-10. And I said,
Yeah.
wow, we have ourselves a ball game. Houston's going to cover
Yeah.
that 14.5 spread. And then
it's, I had, I really believed in him. The Ravens, now they just play football. They just hold the ball. It's power run football. They keep possession. So you could tell that when Houston went down that 2 possessions, if they made one more mistake, it was over. Like, they're just such a good team. I believed in CJ Stroud. The Texans are very fortunate to have a quarterback like that. He's probably going to win
offensive rookie of the
year. That's all but locked up. So I had that. Unfortunately, didn't go my way. The only other bet I had for the divisional round was Lions -6. Worked out for my favor. Lions were fantastic. They looked great. It was a little sweaty, honestly. It was a good game. The Lions offense is just great. Jared Goff's been looking pretty decent. He's there's a couple times
nice
in the
velocity
game,
on those throws.
Yeah.
It was looking crisp.
It was looking good. He does still make a couple decisions a game where you're like, uh-oh. Like, there's Jared Goff kind of thing. But their offense is so great. You know, Amon-Ra, Laporta, Gibbs, Montgomery, great O-line. They're just a solid team.
And their center was hurt. That he
Yeah.
was really pushing through
Oh
it, man.
man. Yeah.
They got injuries over there, but they're a gritty team.
Yeah. Even Laporta, his knee. Like I know they signed
Yep.
Zach Ertz for. I know that's a little concerning because I don't know how his knee is kind of
Yeah,
held
Zach
up.
Ertz, great tight end backup option for them.
Yeah. Oh,
Since
absolutely.
Jared Goff loves throwing to tight end.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. Laporta, like his rookie season was
Yeah.
exceeded expectations by a million. Like I don't think
100%.
everybody thought he was going to be this great.
I had him on my dynasty league. Him and Gibbs.
I won my fantasy league this year, and I
Nice.
had him, and I actually traded Kelsey away for him.
Same.
Oh, okay.
Same. That's
are we
crazy.
the same person?
What?
Yeah, I traded Kelsey.
I literally traded away Travis Kelce for Sam Laporta.
Yeah, I did. I don't
That's
remember the
wild.
exact trade, but it was Kelsey and a receiver for Laporta and a
first or-
receiver. I don't
yeah.
remember who they were on the top of my head, but
That's
he
funny.
won me my fantasy championship. I love him. I took Lions -6, so I kind of went even on the weekend.
Yep.
So it was okay, not bad. Now, what about your bets? What did we have going on?
Well, I didn't take anything for the Houston-Baltimore game. Like you, in my heart, I wanted to take Houston 14.5.
Yeah.
They've been good at covering the spread. I mean, they were above 500 team. They were 10-9 against the spread.
Yeah.
But really, if we've been watching Baltimore all season long, that defense is no joke.
It's no
And
joke.
Looch, I don't know what Lamar Jackson said to his team at halftime because really, when it's tied at halftime, it's 0-0.
Yeah.
So to outscore them by 24 in the second half,
Yeah, 24.
I mean,
yeah, in a row. It
that was
incredible.
crazy.
Yeah.
And if anybody had rushing props, Looch, they were held to 38 yards.
Like that's insane. Like that's
insane.
Yeah, that's incredible from the Ravens, really.
And not even that, but Houston couldn't run the ball inside the 25.
Yeah.
So I stayed away from this. I mean, like you said, shout out to CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
He even could have been in the MVP conversation. I think Lamar
Honestly.
is going to get it.
Yeah. Pre-injury, he was making waves for MVP. Like he had my vote at the halfway mark. Like he really did.
Absolutely.
And just obviously the injuries were unfortunate, but man, kudos to the Texans. They found themselves a superstar for real.
Absolutely. And it's going to be exciting to bet on him and watch him and, kind of see him flourish in that system. So for that game, like I said, in my opinion, I love D'Amico Ryans, defensive guy coming over from 49ers. Just great job by them. For San Francisco, Green Bay, there's just something in my heart where I wanted to say San Francisco's just gonna kill them.
Yeah.
I believe the opening line was San Fran 9.5.
Yeah, 9.5.
The over under was 50.5, I believe.
Yeah.
I believe that hit the under. I think it was 45.
Yeah, and then the spread. Yeah, man, they kept it close.
They did. And I just want to start off by saying this. There's something to be said about a quarterback playing behind a Hall of Famer. Yeah. And Jordan Love, man, he impressed. I mean, first start was shaky. First half of the season was shaky, but man, Green Bay is really set up for the future.
Wow,
and
for real.
And you know what, Looch? I don't know if did you ever bet on Green Bay props this season? Like honestly, receivers or anything?
I didn't in the beginning. I think from week 14 on, I'm pretty sure I took a Green Bay player prop over their receptions and receiving yards for 4 weeks straight. I think it was, I believe it was week 12 where Green Bay just kind of clicked. They figured it out. They got it together, and Green Bay's they've been just a powerhouse since that week. Like Jordan Love's been looking great. They're the youngest team in the league. Just think about that. Like they needed the time to gel, to mesh. They have pieces everywhere. They were not healthy, this and this, that and the other. They just figured it out. They just really from week 12 really came together as a unit, and I love to watch it.
As much as I love that, they're so young that every week, I don't know if you felt this way, it's been a different receiver, like Jaden Reed, Romeo Dobbs, Christian Watson. Like that's what kind of got me in the prop betting. I'm not gonna lie with. But let's talk about the running game. I mean, Aaron Jones. Whoever cashed out on his rushing yards.
Oof.
He
pretty sure he had 100 yards, and the Niners haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher in I don't know how many games it was.
I think they're first against the rush. I could be wrong, but
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure they didn't allow a 100-yard receiver for like the majority of the season, if not even the entire season. Like it just dominant performance. He looked fantastic.
yep. Yeah, so for that game, I personally didn't take anything. I mean, kudos to Green Bay, everybody who picked them to cover 9.5. Brock Purdy, like I said, looked a little shaky. Debo went down, but
Yeah.
ultimately it really came down. And I believe a lot of people had Jordan Love over interceptions. He just made that
It
tough
was
rookie
yeah.
cross pass at
Yeah,
the end.
it was just that one.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah, but
Heartbreaking.
he wasn't bad, but it was just unfortunate, honestly. Just rookie mistake, and he'll learn from that, you know.
Absolutely. So you said you had Lions -6.
I did, yeah.
And I chickened out of that. I actually took over 48.5, 49.5. So
Ooh.
check that off our
Yeah,
list. Go,
that's
both got
yeah, we both
wins
got a
for
win there.
that.
Yeah, I only went -6. Just the energy felt great in the city
Mm,
too. Like
yeah,
I know that's I don't use too much of the emotional side on the betting thing, but they were. Did you see their crowd? How
it
insane
was
it was.
insane.
I've
And we've never
never.
seen that in our lifetime.
I know. I have never seen a crowd that loud for any game in the playoff. It was like they were so ready. The fans apparently were like 6 in the morning. Were out and
Oh,
waiting in
yeah.
front of the gate. Like
They
they were.
bleed Detroit.
Oh man, I
Bleed
do want
blue.
to see them make a run. Just the fact that the
I do
city is
too.
just so engulfed in this team, and I just want to see them go to the Super Bowl. I just want to see what it's
Right?
going to be like if they make it to the Super Bowl. It's going to be madness.
And I think that's the hardest thing with sports betting. Your heart and
Exactly. Yeah,
analytics are two different things,
I
right?
know. I
Like
know.
I would pick Lions right now to win it all
Yeah.
for how many odds, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's just hard to separate. And I think you guys will agree with this, whether it's your team or somebody else's team, or it's just hard to separate that.
Yeah. Oh,
I
absolutely.
just want to say, yeah,
Yeah.
they're gonna win.
I know. It's definitely it's definitely hard to separate the emotional side of things and the analytical side of things. I definitely struggled with
Y-
that early, and I'm sure
Yeah.
everybody has their, oh, I'm from Toronto. I like the Raptors. I'm going to the game. Oh, they're 100% winning.
Yep.
I did this like 3 years ago. I went to a Raptors versus Wizards game, and I was like, oh,
Wow.
easy. Oh, I got this, no problem.
Right.
I'm gonna put 50
And then they
bucks on this
lose.
easy. They got whopped. It was like 30 something points. I left early. I was like, well, I learned from that day.
Did
I'm
you
like,
get the popcorn on the way out at least? Or,
I honestly, the Raptors used to do something where if you score X amount of points, you get a free pizza. I was like, okay, maybe if they lose, I'll get some pizza, maybe feel better. They were 1 point off of the pizza too, and I was like, you know what? We're not even betting with our emotions anymore. I'm over it.
wow.
I was like, I'm over this.
That is wild.
Yeah, they used to do that in Toronto.
Wow.
Pizza for I think it was 100. I don't remember how many points, but you get it if you bring your ticket to the pizza place. You get one free slice. I didn't get no pizza. I was
Wow.
down money and I was sad all in once for
I'm
that.
going up to Toronto.
Yeah,
That's where
you
I'm
get
going.
yeah. If they're honestly now might not be a good time because they stink, but when they were good. It was a lot of pizza. If you go to the game, you're guaranteeing coming home with a slice of pizza, and it was always
Good to know.
Yeah,
That's good to know.
yeah, but
But going back to this Lions game, I actually did have a parlay, four-legger,
yes,
and I will say this right now. I really take advantage of a lot of the boosts they have in there.
yeah,
Like sometimes, one time I was at the gym and I looked at my phone. This is kind of random, and it
yeah,
said, "Oh, Anthony Rizzo to have when he was healthy to have get on base one time."
yeah,
I'm like, wow.
yeah. It
Or
seems
like Kershaw to have one strikeout. Sometimes you got to catch those boosts.
those
So
really good
in
ones.
this,
Yeah.
yeah, in this case, I got a plus 319. I had Jared Goff over 23 and a half. besides the Lions game, love that game. Kansas City and Buffalo, another heartbreaker.
Oof.
Did you have any bets in this game?
I
Any
I
predictions?
didn't. If honestly, I was talking to it with a couple people. My heart was telling me the Bills just because I live close
Yep.
and I wanted to go Bills. I decided I was going to go Chiefs. I didn't pull the trigger on the bet. I was going Chiefs just because, listen, the Chiefs haven't looked great offensively this year. Just
Their
that, like,
defense, boy.
but the
Woof.
defense, like, I don't think Mahomes has had a
Woo.
defense this good in his career. They're
Excellent.
number 2 in the league for points against. And
Yep.
I said, you know what? Mahomes never had this. Rice has been good. Kelsey's been fine. He was great in that
He
game.
showed out.
But he showed
But he
out.
shows up when he needs to show up.
You know
And
what?
I
I
think
can't bet
that's
against
what
them.
makes him great.
I physically cannot bet against Patrick Mahomes. He's giving me those Brady
No.
vibes where you're like, Tom Brady's playing. He's down by 14. I'm like, I'm still not betting against him because it's just greatness. We're just watching one of the best quarterbacks we've ever had in this league. Just put on a show. 6 for 6 for AFC Championship games in a row.
Excellent.
How
All of his career.
How do you top
Every year as a
every
starter,
year?
he's
How
gone
do
to
you-
the AFC
How do you
Championship.
top that? Like, so
You can't.
I didn't.
I mean,
I didn't place a bet. I was gonna go Chiefs. I kind of chickened out. But what about you? Did you have anything in that game?
well, two things I've always done that are kind of automatic are Josh Allen, anytime scorer,
Yes.
which has hit, I believe, in so many X amount of games. So
Oh, man.
that cashed out.
Yeah.
I had Josh Allen rushing yards, which was automatic.
Yes. He's
And then I had
incredible.
Patrick Mahomes over 24 and a half rushing yards, got him at 19. So
Yeah.
didn't get that. And like you, Looch, for the first time in a long time, I bet with my heart. And knowing that the Buff, even my mother told me, who doesn't even watch football, she said, I think that legitimately, Looch, she sent me a text. I think the Bills are going to win. She goes, they have too many injuries. And I'm like, you're right.
Mom is like,
They had so
Sarah,
many.
get in check. They had
I tweeted about it. I actually tweeted about it.
Oh, man.
If you go on my Twitter, I tweeted about that.
I think your mom has to be the guest. She has to keep us in check.
I think she needs to come on.
Yeah, I think she needs to keep us in check.
Honestly, even my pets, Looch, they all picked the Chiefs. I said, Noelle, my cat, I said, Chiefs or Bills? She said Chiefs. She looked at the Chiefs. Maybe
All right, we need
I
the
should
cat
just start
and we need
relying.
Mom. They need to just run the show. I think we're just gonna take a step back. Mom knows, cats know, we don't know.
Yeah.
Oh my
But
God, that's
anyway, it's been tough for the Bills. I mean,
Yeah.
they've just, they got beat in 2020. They got beat in 2021, I believe.
Yeah.
It's been tough for them, but Patrick Mahomes did what he needed to do. It was a first test for him, on the road,
Yeah.
winning in the playoffs for the first time in his career, which is
Absurd
incredible.
to even think about. Yeah.
And you know what? No, it's a crazy part, Luch. There were 0 sacks in this game.
That's crazy. Yeah.
0
That's
sacks.
that's crazy. That's
So if you had
actually crazy.
the prop on that, then
Yeah.
you know.
You're out of luck there.
But Pacheco did very well. Mahomes,
Yeah.
Kelsey. I also had Travis Kelsey over 62.5 receiving. Couldn't bet against them. Can't bet against that combo.
2 touchdowns too. Like, I saw that they're the most. They have the most touchdowns between quarterback and
Yep.
any offensive player in history, passing Brady and Gronk. Just think about that. Like,
Yeah, that's crazy.
just.
I
it's
mean,
just insane.
Dynamic duo.
Yeah, it's insane, and they're still got a lot of years left in the tank. So it's incredible to watch.
And his odds, Travis Kelsey, 2+ touchdowns plus 750.
Really.
Someone cashed out on that. I'll tell you
somebody,
that.
100% somebody did that. Taylor Swift was in the house.
She was.
Somebody's definitely had that somewhere.
And real quick, a little veering off from the betting. Obviously that game came down to a field goal.
Yeah.
And, my emotions went on Twitter and I said, oh my God, Josh Allen, I mean, yeah, he wanted to make the big throw. That's what quarterbacks do, right?
Yeah, that's what Josh does.
He saw the end zone,
Yeah.
clearly could have made the underpass. But do you think the problem is more like of a defense than putting it all on Josh Allen?
You
Do
know
you think
what?
the blame is on the coaching? Like, what do you think about this?
My thoughts on the Bills, I like them as a team. I know they were injured, which is unfortunate, but unfortunately, injuries are part of football. So you kind of just got to keep rolling with the punches. For me, I think it's a coaching staff thing. I think they definitely need to make a change there. I don't know who the right guy might be for them, but I just think, you know, I like Josh. I know a couple times in a game he might make a decision that's, you know, questionable. But man, like I don't think we'd be complaining if that pass to, you know, was a touchdown. They let their defense
It'd
go
be a
play.
different story.
It'd be a different story. I like Josh Allen. Like the raw talent is there. Like which quarterback? Like I know Lamar can run. I know Jalen Hurts can run. I know these quarterbacks can run, but pure arm strength, like Josh Allen can launch a football. Like
he can launch that.
Just
no doubt about it.
I don't put really much of the blame on Josh. I still, you know, you can't get rid of Josh Allen just ever. No. He's just too good of a quarterback. You know, they did have some injuries.
We'll have to see go from here, you know.
Yeah, I think it's a coaching staff thing. I hate that a lot of the blame went on Tyler Bass. That irritated me a lot. Did you see that he had to like delete his social media because he was getting bullied online? I don't know. Yeah. I'm going to be completely honest. Even if he made the throw, I know it's hypothetical and it's easy to say it now, but even if he made the field goal, 27-27, the Chiefs still had a minute. You think Mahomes isn't going to go down the field and get
I said the exact same thing. You're giving Mahomes too much time.
Yeah, even if they gave him, I hate to bring it up, but the Bills last year, in 13 seconds, the Chiefs got like...
You remember that?
I hate to bring give the, you know, Bills fans some bad memories, but it was a minute on the clock. Chances are he would have scored, but I don't really put much of the blame on that. I think it's they got to just new coaching staff kind of figure it out from there and kind of just run it back next year with maybe
try to get a healthy defense a little bit. Yeah.
No Gabe Davis, no linebackers.
That was huge too.
Yeah, like they were just really shorthanded, but kudos to the Chiefs. They were still great.
Yeah, kudos to the Chiefs. We'll talk about them a little bit more. Yeah. The opening line was Buffalo 2.5. They ended up covering 2.5. If you bet on the over under, I believe it was at 46, and the over hit it, I believe, at 51.
Yes, 51. I believe so. Yeah.
Congrats to anyone who bet the over. I did not want to touch that.
Yeah.
So moving on, we will be making our NFC AFC Championship picks later this weekend, kind of breaking down the games. Yep. But I do want to talk about Looch real quick about the Super Bowl odds real quick, where we stand at as of today, January 24th, Wednesday. We have the 49ers, Ravens for, which were the number 1 seeds.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs and the Lions. Mm-hmm. What do you think about this? And the odds, I think the 49ers have, they're heavily favored, plus 145. And then are the Ravens at plus 190, Chiefs at plus 380, and then the Lions at plus 750. So the Lions are kind of the major underdogs here. Very interesting.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I know the Niners and the Ravens from the beginning of the year, I don't think they've struggled much. I know the Niners went through like this 3-game spell where they lost and everyone's like, oh, it's over from there. And let's be honest, they're just both teams are just dominant on both sides of the ball. Like there's not many weaknesses. I know the public is probably going to lean Niners Ravens for the Super Bowl. But it's hard to count out the Chiefs and the Lions. They've had fantastic seasons. But looking at it, it does make sense, the Super Bowl odds. I'm probably going to take a couple days to think about where I'm going to lean. I'm not sure yet. I'd like to see some injury reports. I know Mark Andrews is back. I don't know how.
Is he back?
Yep, apparently.
Huge for Baltimore.
Yeah, I don't know what his status is. Like if they're going to give him the green light. Debo, Laporta, I
think Debo's 50-50 right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of still moving pieces but definitely our next show, once we get the better injury report, I'd love to make like a call on who's going to win it all. There's 4 teams left, all great teams. Honestly, I think these have been probably the 4 of the 5 or whatever best teams all year. Like really.
Oh, I agree.
Agreed. And I don't know where I'm going to lean, but we'll see with the more news coming out. But I think those odds are fair. I think it's a little disrespectful to the Lions for plus 7. A little bit
because we'll talk about this in a minute. But
definitely,
listen, they can go in there and beat the 49ers because we saw what Green Bay just did.
Oh, yeah.
And the Lions, it's not their first season together. They have some seasoned vets.
Yeah.
They have a great coach. We'll talk about this more.
Yeah, definitely.
But the Lions, heading into this season, were plus 1,200 to win the Super Bowl. They're plus 750 right now. Insane. The Chiefs were plus 850. They were the second best odds. Now they're 380.
Wow.
The Ravens were the fourth best odds behind the Bills, the Chiefs, and the 49ers at plus 950, and they're at plus 190. And then
Man.
the only thing that hasn't changed is San Francisco. They were always favored at
Yeah.
550, and now they're favored at 145.
Yeah. Fun fact, and it's true. I have a futures bet still on FanDuel.
Do you?
I haven't touched it yet. I have a bet. I got the San Francisco 49ers. I'll send you the slip at plus 1,000 to win the Super Bowl.
Really?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
How many units on that?
I put 5 on it.
Nice.
Yeah. So there was this like promotion kind of thing where it was, get like a 50% boost on, or sorry, 100% boost on the Super Bowl winner.
Yep.
I got him I locked him in at plus 1,000 for the San Francisco 49ers. It's looking good now. I don't know what I'm going to do with it though. They gave me a cash out option, which is pretty juicy.
Ooh, those cash out options.
I don't know what I'm going to do now. I usually don't cash out too often, but yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to make a decision on our show on Friday what I'm going to do with that because
I had a similar thing when Ohtani went to the Dodgers. I had that
Oh, you did?
boost on DraftKings, and as a Yankees fan, this is hard, Looch. I'm not going to lie. You can see the Yankees in the background.
Yeah.
I took Dodgers as a future bet.
Oh,
Too. For the price, I had to.
I know. Listen, I'm a Jays fan, and I know they were in the running. I was in Florida when he got announced, and I was like, it's going to be the Dodgers, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
We were like, we're going to give them all this money. Toronto, is kind of, they're huge in sports, it was always the Dodgers, wasn't it?
It was always the Dodgers.
It was always the Dodgers.
It was always the Dodgers.
I was sitting at the pool and I got the notification. I'm like, well, I'm not surprised, but I am really sad. Oh, man.
Facts.
Oh, man.
Well, we'll follow up with our future bets and NFL. If there's anything else you want to add, we're gonna kind of shift gears here.
Yeah.
To the NBA. There's
Beautiful.
a lot of stuff going on in the NBA.
Is there a lot of stuff?
Is there a lot of stuff?
Yeah.
Had a lot of bets last night. It is rivalry week in the NBA.
Yeah.
If for those of you that don't know what that is, it's pretty much like rivals. So you got the Knicks and the Nets last night. You had the Lakers and the Clippers. You had a bunch of great matchups.
That's awesome.
Did you have any bets last night?
I honestly,
all the games.
I was just tailing what we have in Discords and stuff. I was more just a viewer. I personally watched the Clippers and Lakers game. I know LeBron was out, unfortunately. I really wish, we could have had him in that game, and would make rivalry week a little bit, juicier for sure. But what did you have? Let's tell the public what we have last night.
So last night I decided not to go with any parlays. I had a couple straight bets.
Yeah.
One of my favorite, I found this on DraftKings. It was Contavious Caldwell-Pope, KCP, nice role player for the Denver Nuggets. Originally, I saw the line, I think it was like minus 120 for over 9.5 points. I grabbed it at plus 100. I could not believe the value there.
Yeah, that's
incredible. Ended up having 14 points. Yeah, he had a, slow start, and that hit.
That's awesome.
Another prop, Looch, and I know you guys are feeling with me right now. Kawhi Leonard over 1.5 3-pointers.
Looch, that was
everybody and their mother was making 3-pointers, but Kawhi.
I know that was one of them I tailed, and I saw at the end of the night, like I was watching the first half, and I was like, okay, time to go to bed. I'm gonna wake up. He's gonna have 2 threes. We're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
I looked in the morning. I was like, really, Kawhi? Like they had a clinic offensively, and I was like, really? Like that?
It was crazy.
Yeah, they put up 127 points.
Yeah.
And
Coffee was hitting his threes. James Harden.
Yeah.
What Kawhi does so well, and this being a Raptors fan, he loves the mid range. He's so good with the mid range, and he was just bullying them in the mid range the entire night.
Yeah, I think he only took 1 3 or last night, or 2 threes?
1 3.
1 3, and I was like.
It's the way the chips fall.
It's just how it goes. Yeah, he's just so dangerous with the mid-range.
I do want to say, I used props.cash. If you guys do not have props.cash, it is a great analytical site to kind of get all your props in one place. It is a great way. Here it is right here to make better, smarter bets. I can tell you right now, I was researching for 2 hours, Looch, and I said, why is going to hit?
Yeah.
But if you guys are interested, use a code BIL. You get 25% off your first month subscription.
Yeah.
Props.cash. Absolutely amazing. I've been using this for years.
Yeah, best tool in
Your take
the
on it,
game.
Looch?
Oh, best tool in the game. Honestly, for matchups, for trends, for whether we talk NBA, points allowed, assists allowed, rebounds allowed, rankings, trends, odds, where it actually even odds shops for you. Like, do you know how many
Amazing.
times I used to, click on a prop and just place it and whatever just because, and it gives me FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM if it's available in your state, or it gives me everything all in one place, visually appealing. It's my favorite tool. So remember, use code BIL, 25% off. It's just a must-have. Keeps
And it's amazing because you can
incredible.
break down their last 5, their last 10,
Oh, yeah. You can
how they do it at home.
Yeah, exactly.
It's honestly one of the best tools, and I'm not just saying this with with all of my heart and soul.
Yeah.
I love props.cash.
I use it for everything.
It is literally my go-to.
Yeah.
For everything.
Yeah, because a lot of people just use, let's just say Anthony Davis, for example. They see the line and it's 27.5, and they're like, oh, well, he hit in 8 of his last 10 games. Like, so he's going to hit tonight. But when you really take this website and dive deep where he plays better at home, away, on a back-to-back, you could see 0 days rest, everything like
Western Conference, Eastern Conference.
See,
if he ate spaghetti and meatballs, I'm just kidding.
If he has spaghetti that morning, he will hit his over. We got to start.
You should really have that. Like, what did they eat for breakfast? What time did they go to bed? Like,
I want to know if he had his Wheaties before I make my prediction. But like, for example, he looks 8 for 10, but then you could see on the road, he might be 1 for 10 and he's on the road. And you kind of fade it, but best tool in the game. If you guys are not using
best tool,
code BIL, and it is a must have for bets.
Must have.
Yep.
Well, speaking of my other prop, I had, Josh Giddey of the Thunder.
Yes.
Over 4.5 assists. I'm not gonna lie. Like, he really wasn't involved in the offense last night. I think he had 7 points. He was kind of chilling.
I saw a lot of people on his PRAs last night, and he just was kind of running cardio, to be honest. Like, he didn't have a typical performance. I think he had like 7 points, 5 boards. Like, it was just an underwhelming night for him, for sure. Wasn't too involved, but unfortunately.
Yeah, and I'll get into this, Looch. I mean, everybody has their own opinion. I would honestly like to see, Oklahoma City. They're up there in the standings.
Oh, I love them.
I would love to see them use some of their future assets and maybe even trade Giddey, because honestly, as much as I like Giddey, at times I feel like he doesn't fit in this team.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I feel like he's kind of learning his role, but he's constantly always calling for the ball. If you look at him play, sometimes he always wants the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
So like the 2 assists that he had were honestly like real chuck throws, like just down in the paint.
Yeah.
It's not like he's a true like facilitator. I mean, at the end of the day, it's SGA's and Chet Holmgren's team.
Yeah, there's their team. Yeah.
So it's hard for me. Every single time I've been on props on him, they just have never hit. So I think I'm gonna veer away from that for a little bit. But that was fade him a little bit. That was a tough one to overcome. And real quick, not sure if you caught this game. If you had the over or the under for the Pelicans game, they beat the Utah Jazz, who are actually a little up and coming, 153 points franchise record.
Incredible. Just domination.
7 players, double figures.
Crazy.
Points.
Just insane.
I think the opening line, which was what? Pelicans 6.5?
I could check, but Pelicans 6.5. And the over-under was set at 239. The Pelicans, if the game lasted a little longer, might have covered it themselves. What a performance. They didn't miss.
I mean, everyone was involved.
Everyone, it was just beautiful basketball.
Beautiful. All right, so moving on. We have a lot of news in the NBA. Just wanted to touch upon real quick. Veteran guard Terry Rozier traded to the Miami Heat for veteran guard Kyle Lowry and a 2027 first round pick.
Yeah.
For me personally, I'm excited for this. We'll talk about it in a second. I'm certainly going to be looking for those assist props. For Miami Rozier. Always sneaks up on you. What do you think, Looch, about this trade?
I honestly, I'm a big Kyle Lowry fan coming from Toronto. Just a big fan, but it's just a great move from Miami. Like, I honestly, considering Rozier's having one of his best seasons, I'm actually surprised it didn't cost them a little bit more. Usually at the deadline when teams are a little bit desperate, I know it's a
I agree.
2027 first, which, you know, in 3 years from now could look really good, but you know,
Depends how they draft.
I exactly. I'd rather have something I know rather than something I don't know. 2027, who knows, right? Rozier right now will make them a better team. Will make them compete for the championship. You know, Bam, Jimmy, Terry. They got Hero. Like, they have a good squad, and I think considering a player is having his career season, he's riding, you know, a high. I've been, you know, when I was actually doing a deep dive last night, just his efficiency on the court this season
Oh yeah,
has been
amazing.
incredible, and I think he's going to be fantastic on this offense. I think it's going to take him a couple games to get, you know, used to the system, but once it's there, I think honestly they've become just a much better team. As much as I love Kyle Lowry, obviously he's good, but is he going to take them to that, you know, next level? Probably not. But yeah, kudos.
I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. You know, he's a championship.
I love him.
Not taking that away, but I don't think he's gonna help them get over the hump.
Yeah, I think Terry might be that piece. Apparently, they said they're not done yet, which is interesting to see because it would be, if they can grab another piece, even a depth piece off the bench, I think they could be a dangerous team. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the trade?
I mean, listen, I'm a Celtics fan. I'll tell you right now, I write for the Celtics. I've been a Celtics fan since I was 12 years old, and I really try not to bring that into betting. But listen, Miami's always been in there. And the fact that Miami's sitting, I think, at the 5 or 6 seed when Jimmy Butler's been hurt, that is eye-opening. So, you know, I love Terry Rozier. Let me tell you, he's a dog. He can hoop. He's always hooped. And ever since he left Boston for the Hornets, he like elevated his game.
By a million. He's incredible,
if you look at the odds, Looch, the only thing, which I can't understand this, the odds haven't changed.
For the Miami to win the
championship? For
championship?
Miami Heat. They're like plus 4,000.
Really?
Which is crazy to me because how I think of Terry Rozier, he's averaging career high, you know, 23 points a game.
Yeah.
He is a better, younger version of Kyle Lowry because we all remember how Kyle Lowry used to be in his prime.
Yeah.
I mean, he fits in with the toughness, the grit that Miami stands for, the fact that he's having one of the best usage rates of his career.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
And he's clutch. A lot of people don't know this, Looch. He's clutch.
I didn't even know that, honestly. I'm just taking the base stats, but if he's clutch too, that just needs the extra X factor.
Since like 1997, I don't know. I was reading this. I'm a big stats person. It always gets in my head.
Yeah.
He's like 5th or 6th in the highest clutch effective field goal.
Wow.
Percentage.
So I mean, they got a dog. Yeah.
They got a dog. I'm not saying he's got the best three-point percentage, but he'll pull up.
Yeah.
He won't be afraid to pull up. He's going to get to the rim like that. That's Terry Rozier in a nutshell.
Yeah.
So he's got durable minutes. He's consistent. He's trending up. And, you know, Miami does rank 9th in assists. So honestly, Looch, this is going to really change the landscape of how I bet with Miami because it is going to affect Tyler Hero.
Yeah.
It is going to affect the assists. It's going to affect Jimmy Butler. Like, we're going to have to see how is he going to fit aside that team, especially with Bam Adebayo. So it is going to change the landscape. If you do bet on the Miami Heat and player props, I mean, you may want to take a game or two, just see how he fits in with that.
Kind of see how he fits in the offense, give him a couple games, and then
absolutely,
if he's looking clean, just let those assist props fly because he's got some good talent around him too. So
absolutely. I mean, I don't think of him as like a 1A playmaker, more of like a secondary playmaker, but I think Miami needed it. I think
I agree. I like them. I mean, I really like them.
I do. I hate to say that, but I do. I think that the Heat are scary. They scare me. Listen, Luch, I was at Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals last year.
No way.
And I saw the collapse.
Oh, no.
And, you know, they got the rookie and Jaquez, and they got Hero back. I mean, scary team.
Yeah. When they're healthy, I don't. Do you know how long Jimmy's out for? Or
Jimmy's back. He's been in and out.
Yeah,
But that's kind of always been Jimmy.
that's fair.
That's
Yeah,
why they call him Playoff Jimmy,
yeah. When it's
because
yeah,
he's insane in
yeah,
the playoffs.
yeah. When it comes down to it, yeah, he turns it on. Whatever switch he has, he turns it on, and in the playoffs, he's just
Yep.
electric.
And that's where you get the player props.
Yep.
Always on Jimmy Butler in
Yep.
the playoffs.
Yep.
But switching gears, some more NBA news before we get to some hockey.
Yep.
Last night and tonight, Doc Rivers. It's such a weird
Yeah.
time.
Mm-hmm.
I think the news broke out. Was it during the Pelicans game or the Clipper?
Yeah, it was during
Which
the.
game did
It
that-
was the earlier game. Yeah, it was at around like 7-ish. So like the Pelicans game. Yeah, came out that.
Yes.
The news came out.
I guess CNN reported
Yeah.
first to report that Doc Rivers, who by the way is contracted with ESPN, with the broadcasting contract.
Mm-hmm.
If you did not know, Adrian Griffin was fired after a second league best 30-13 start by the Milwaukee Bucks, which I've actually never seen before.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
Sure, yeah.
And it was reported that Doc Rivers is going to become the next head coach.
Yeah.
So I guess what are some of your thoughts on this? I think there's still some. I know Chris Haynes said deal isn't done.
Yeah, which that's interesting. They kind of just said breaking news on the broadcast, and everyone's like, okay, like they're kind of just preparing for him to be the coach, and then it's kind of not. We're kind of in like a limbo right now. Maybe they're trying to deal with like contract obligations with the broadcast team and stuff, probably. But here was my thought process. So not that I don't necessarily follow the coaching, carousel in the NBA, but I want to hear your thoughts on this, because if an NHL team, because that's primarily what I am involved with, is 30-13 and fires their coach, it's like, it reminds me of like, not necessarily the Bruins last year, but that's just my best comparison. They were one of the best teams they actually were the best team in the league, but that's like them at 30-13 saying, this isn't our guy, but we're winning. I don't know if something happened in the locker room or he kind of lost the players' vote of confidence or whatever, but how do you fire a coach when you're winning? I don't know. Like, I would like your take on it, because I might be missing in the big picture of things, but do you think it's the right move, the wrong move? I'd like to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, certainly, 30-13 is nothing to sniff at.
Yeah, it's just so good.
I'm looking this up right now. Celtics have the best odds, and then the Nuggets, and then the Bucks at plus 475. So they're right there. I think the thing, Looch, is, in his first 43 games, listen, Milwaukee's winning games, but they're not crushing opponents aside from the Celtics, right?
Yeah.
They're not very good against the spread. And their defense has been atrocious.
Okay, so
absolutely atrocious.
I was going to bring up a point, because I've noticed a lot of people, a trend that every time somebody plays the Bucks, they always hit the over on their guards.
They always hit the over. Them and the Pacers.
Yeah, like
it's almost automatic.
Yeah, like everyone's taking the shooting guards, the point guards, their points over, laddering their points to 25-30. I'm like, damn, are they that poor defensively? Like, just I don't know. It's just, I guess maybe it was needed, but like I'd like to hear some more.
I honestly feel like this is coming from the players. I feel like it's coming from Giannis Antetokounmpo and newly acquired Damian Lillard. It has to be coming from either the front office or the players. Listen, this is Giannis's team. We all know that. I know he wasn't hot on Nick Nurse when Nick Nurse, was considered, and then he went to the 76ers. But, to me, I feel like if you don't have control of your locker room and you can't get these players to buy in, you're not going to win a championship. And Giannis has won a championship. He knows what it takes. So, honestly, watching the Bucks, I just feel like there's a little bit of a disconnect, right? You see Giannis and Dame not really running the pick and roll as much as we would see them running the pick and roll. Defensively, they're 21st in defensive rating. They allow 120 points a game. That's crazy, honestly, I think it's just like they're not a confident 30-13 team. Now, on the other side, I believe they're 16-26 against the spread, Looch. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
I mean, they're barely winning games.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, it's like, you have pieces, you have a great team, but you need a leader that's going to get you there. Now, Do I say it's fair? Do I feel bad for Adrian Griffin? I do.
Yeah.
I think he
I
deserved
probably
more
would
than
too.
43 games.
Yeah.
But this is screaming to me that he does not have control of that locker room and that the players aren't happy. I could be wrong.
No, it has to. And that's my
But
opinion
who
too.
gets
It has
fired
to
at
be.
30-13?
That's why when I saw that, I'm like, there's no way. It's got to be some sort of troll or something. But yeah, it's just crazy.
I mean, Monty Williams is still with the Pistons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this was crazy to me. So, I mean, the fact that the Bucks have the third best odds to win the championship and they're having a mid-season coach. I mean, but we'll have to figure this out. You know, all I will say about Doc Rivers before you want to chime in, you know, I love Doc Rivers. He's a great head coach. I am forever grateful for what he's done for the city of Boston championship.
Yeah, of course.
But let's be honest, between, you know, the Orlando Magic and the Clippers and the days with Chris Paul and Blake Griffin, I mean, they have blown so many 3-1 leads. I think he's blown 3-1 leads in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's what I think I saw that too, which is, that's
so now you're going to have that record. And I think he's only had one. He's been above 500 in every season, every postseason besides the Magic.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think he's had many losing seasons. I mean, Doc knows how to coach. He knows the game. He knows how to talk the talk. But, you know, not living up to those expectations, you may have disgruntled stars. How, if he does sign and if he does become the next head coach, you know, what are their odds to make it past the Boston Celtics and even the Nuggets or even like the Cavaliers or other, even the 76ers in the Eastern Conference?
Yeah. Honestly, like, I don't know. I still think personally the Celtics are the team to beat in the East. But I don't know. In my opinion, just looking at it from an outside perspective, does this take them from where they are now to the next level? And I think the answer just might. See, like I see, like you're kind of like the answer is kind of like I don't know. So I feel like if the answer is I don't know, I'm curious to why they even did it. And my thought process, like, you know, that when it comes down to it, they're in the playoffs. Let's just say they go on a run, they play the Celtics, and for
they beat
some
us
reason
once, they blew us out.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just don't think it moves the needle as much as people might think it does, or maybe they might not. But in my opinion, overall, I just think maybe you just got to play out this season, unless something happened behind the scenes that's not public information right now. You know, obviously,
exactly. We don't really know anything right now.
Exactly. If that news comes out, maybe I'll change my take a little bit. But at this current moment, I feel like it doesn't take them from here to, the Bucks are back. You know, they're winning.
Right.
So that's
listen, I don't know what version of team we're going to get. I saw them, you know, blow out the Celtics so badly that TNT took it off national television.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then it's just like, I mean, maybe Doc can bring in a little bit more of a defensive identity. I know that Adrian Griffin, I think Haynes, sorry, I keep calling him Chris Barnes.
Yes.
Chris Haynes reported that Adrian Griffin kind of told them, I mean, I don't know how true this is, that they needed a little bit more of an identity, a little bit more of a sacrifice.
Oh, wow.
And for this team, I'm not going to lie, Damian Lillard said media day. Listen, it's not going to be today. It's not going to be tomorrow. It's going to take time to have chemistry.
For sure, yeah.
But it's like with the Celtics, listen, man, I cover everything about this team. It takes sacrifice and it takes chemistry.
Absolutely.
And if you don't have those two teams with two ball-dominant players, you're never going to win. I don't care how heavily favored you are.
You're right. Look at the Nuggets last year. Like, just two stars, but they just worked so perfectly. The chemistry was there. It just you need it. Like, those are Giannis and Lillard. Those are superstars. They just
absolutely
gotta just figure it out, put it together, and
but it's their first rodeo, you know?
Exactly. So
it takes time to build that.
Definitely.
So I will be diving, you know, more into the NBA a little bit. I just felt with football and everything going on and all the breaking news, it's great to get the news out to everybody.
Yeah.
But we are having another episode. Obviously, I think our first episode went amazing.
It went well. Feeling great. Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous at first. I'm you know, we both are streamers on Twitch. I don't know why, but now I feel great. I feel great.
You just need that the first 5 minute jitters to kind of cool
Yeah.
down, and then it's like,
Yeah.
okay, this feels great. Like once you're,
Just
because we
feels
know what we're
natural.
talking about. It just
Yes,
it comes with time.
it
But
does. Well, if you guys want to follow us, Luch's socials are right there. Mine are on my camera, 4112
Yep.
on Twitter, Sarah J. Gamelli. You guys can find me, Sarah Jane Gamelli, everywhere, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you name it. Also follow us at BallisLife Bets.
yes,
Socials everywhere. We also have our own Discord, which we will be posting. If you guys want to find this, want to catch up with us, we will have our own YouTube channel, and it will be going to BallisLife Podcast Network on YouTube.
yes,
In addition, we will be putting this on Apple and Spotify. So we have a
Yep.
lot of fun things planned for you guys, a lot of
yes,
maybe some giveaways, some fun
absolutely,
stuff,
yeah,
entertainment.
absolutely,
Can't wait to be that source for you guys, whether you're getting ready in the morning, your lunch break.
yeah,
Let's win together, Looch. Let's talk some sports.
yes.
You teach me a little bit more hockey.
Yeah, and vice versa.
I'm just really
NBA.
excited.
Yeah, let's cash out as a community. This is what we're here for. We're gonna bring our expertise
Absolutely.
and entertainment for you. We're gonna have some fun games with you guys, some giveaways. Like I said, you're gonna want to tap in. You're gonna want to follow us on all socials. It's gonna be a fun ride.
Absolutely.
Fun
And
ride.
remember for props.cash, use the code BIL.
Yes.
And if you are able to use Price Picks in your state, use the code LIFE.
Yes.
Those are the two things that we use. So, Luch, I want to thank you again. Great first episode.
Yeah.
And our next episode, why don't you tell everyone kind of what we're going to dive into?
Yeah, so we're going to be recording again Friday. We're going to definitely get our deep dive in the NFL. We got the NFC and AFC championship games. We're going to talk odds. We're going to talk player props. Do maybe a small overlook on the NBA and NHL slates, but majority of the focus, we have 3 NFL games left. So let's lock in together. Let's win some money. Then we have a 2-week break before the Super Bowl, obviously, but the NBA or the NFL season flew by. Let's really enjoy oh my God. Let's really enjoy the last, few weeks of it. And
Exciting.
exciting. It's this is what it's all about right here. But yeah,
Absolutely.
let's win some money together and let's enjoy some football definitely for the next episode.
All right. Well, we'll see you Friday,
Yeah,
Saturday for episode 2.
Yes.
Have a good one.
You guys enjoy. Peace.